as of this recording, Bud Light has not necessarily issued an exact apology that even remotely is good enough for me or anyone else. They basically doubled down, went silent, went deep, and they're trying to let this thing blow over, and it's not. So, Miller Lite, in its infinite wisdom, there was a video out stating that there's women brewers out there, and we don't need to advertise women in bikinis. You kind of do. That's good marketing, but whatever. That's on them. And of course, people saw that and said, "Hey, wait a minute." Then I come to find out after not much research that Molson Coors owns Miller Lite. I didn't know that. I thought they were separate companies. No, it's all one big incestuous pool of degeneracy, apparently. So, Heckler and Koch, Heckler and Koch, I guess you wouldn't call it, H&K, we'll call it that, follows Miller Lite's lead, describes objectifying women in gun ads as trash marketing. Now, as you see in the thumbnail, they already put out a tweet stating, we knew what happened. It's not going to happen again going forward. We're not going to get into identity politics. Things were fixed. Okay, cool. That's what Miller Lite should do and Bud Light should do. They didn't. They're trying to run silent and run deep and try to distance themselves from this travesty. We don't know if the marketing manager of the H&K, she says, as a woman, we don't need gun bunnies and beer bunnies. Who the people who buy H&K are people who've got loads of cash, okay? Now, H&K is pretty much double, sometimes triple the price of any weapon you buy. They're good weapons, don't get me wrong. But it's not the first weapon, if I were going to buy one, I'm not saying I do have any, FBI, I'm looking at you, that I would buy said item. My first choice would not be H&K. H&K is sort of like for people out there, you buy a Lamborghini or a 59 Corvette or something like that. You get my point. It's a very inexpensive, well-manufactured firearm. And their marketing female, who's female by the way, was saying, how dare you? As a woman, we don't need women out there to be objectified in bikinis selling guns and beer. Oh, okay. So we're just going to throw the 80s and 90s, marketing out the window, even the early 2000s. So we're just going to ignore all that happened, right? I didn't. I remember that. They were fond memories, I would suppose. They were funny commercials. Remember back then when we actually had funny commercials when they didn't push some sort of political narrative? Those are good times. So, let's go on. And I don't know how to have the tweets, but it's just funny that all Bud Light and Miller Lite have to do is say, hey, we recognized we messed up. Hey, we still love our customer base. Hey, we're still making products that you like for you and you alone. We're sorry that we sort of went this way to alienate our core demographic and our core business model and our core customer. We're sorry. Going forward, we're not going to dip our toe into identity politics. H&K did it correctly. It didn't take them about a day for them to go, what do we got to do? We don't have a big media presence on Twitter or anything like that. We sell guns and firearms to governments and people alike throughout the world that actually can buy them. So therefore, going forward, we're not going to dip our toe in identity politics. That's it. Bud Light hasn't done that yet. Miller Lite won't do that. I suppose Bud Light as well won't do that. So what is in closing here? What do companies have to do if they screw up? Here's the H&K model right here. Hey, we're sorry. It ain't gonna happen again. And that's it. And that would have fixed the Bud Light thing, and that would fix the Miller Lite thing. It would be done. It would be fixed, and people would move on to something other crazy. But, as you all know out there in Lazo Land, liberals and progressives and Democrats cannot admit they're wrong. They cannot apologize. They won't apologize. This is who they are going forward. You should know you cannot trust really any politician for that matter, but especially libprogs, Democrats, commies, and socialists. They are the enemy of a free republic. They are the enemy of the world. I would ask the victims of most socialist and communist countries, but they're 6 feet under or in shallow graves somewhere. That's just a fact. You cannot trust a woke company to say we're sorry, because they won't. Because that would make them admit that what they did was wrong.